Today it's pretty yucky outside and like kind of raining, so I caved and took the bus. But honestly, I think I could have walked. In today's devotion video, we're going to hear from another person in our community. His name is Mitchell. He's going to talk with us about how he connects to God through running and about how he experiences the wilderness in his Jewish faith and in the Jewish tradition.
I'm Mitchell Kent. My family and I, we come on Sunday mornings, usually at 11 o'clock. We're here for Sunday school at 10. My daughters are Evie and Zoe and Annabelle. My wife is Tanya, and she's very involved in the church. She's been a member of council, vice president of council, for the last couple of years.
How is like being outside, physical activity, how has that been an important part of your life or even a spiritual part of your life?
That's a great question. So I, growing up, would take these amazing camping trips with my family. We would go up to Lake George, and they have islands there. So the lake is 32 miles long. It's in the Adirondacks, and there's over 300 islands, and a number of them are state-owned campgrounds. So we would go up there and rent a boat, and we would spend 10 or so days camping on the island, and just waking up on the island and having nature around you was incredible. Cooking in front of the lake, hearing the water as you're going to sleep and you're waking up, campfire, just beautiful, really special place. So I felt very connected spiritually to the world. I didn't think so at the time, but ultimately to God, really, like understanding that this world is so much bigger than us. And so that was probably my first kind of real spiritual experience was outside. And my family, now that we have a family, we do the same thing and they love it.
It's not just specific to a time period. This is like
it's a theme. It's
always true.
For our lives.
It's kind of cool. Running is a big part of your life, and physical activity is a big part of your life. When you've used it as your commute, has the environmental impact ever been an aspect of doing that?
I am strongly in favor of biking to work if you can do that. Running to work is a lot harder because you wind up at work and you're all sweaty and you don't know what to do with yourself. But if you could bike to work and the breeze cools you down, you get to work and you have a way to get into your clothes, I think that's great because it's a much more eco-friendly way to get to work. When I run and I'm training for something and I'm running home, running is itself is actually a spiritual experience because the energy that I get from running, the feedback loop of like endorphins firing in my brain, I have like the most profound thoughts while I run. So and I don't think that's true for biking for me, but for running, there's something special about it where you get out there and after the first 10 minutes where it hurts a bit, you get in for that 10 through like 50 minutes to an hour, and everything's so clear. Yeah.
It's hard to find the time.
It's hard to find the time. And
how do you find the time?
With 3 kids and a dog, and it is hard to find the time. My friends who have a similar life, they spend their entire weekend in running clothes. So if ever the opportunity comes and they just have a free half hour, that's what they do. They just like pop out and go for a run. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I should just do that, and I should be, like Tanya and I should be committed to wearing nothing but our running clothes on the weekend so that we can do that if we want
Always being ready.
Always be ready, that's right. But yeah, it's hard to find the time.
From your perspective, your Jewish faith, how has wilderness been like a theme?
One of the huge stories in the Torah, in the Old Testament, is the story of Exodus from Egypt. And they spend 40 days, 40 nights, 40 years.
I second guess myself that same way, and that's something I was writing.
So it's 40 years literally living in the wilderness and coming out of Egypt. And so the wilderness plays a huge role in the Torah. including, the story of Noah and the ark, and being in the rain for 40 days and 40 nights. There's the 40 days, 40 days. At Mount Sinai, Moses climbs this really impressively huge mountain to communicate with God. So I think the themes of wilderness and outdoors really connect with Judaism and the Old Testament. So I think it's a really big part of, my history, the history of the Jewish people.
How do you connect with that person in your life?
It's interesting because only recently have I started to make this connection, but one of the most amazing holidays is Sukkot, which is the festival of the harvest. And how Jews experience that is they build a temporary tabernacle, which represents how they had to live in the 40 years leaving Egypt. So it's kind of like this connection to the outdoors and connection to God through this. There's specific rules on how you build this sukkah, in the holiday of Sukkot. But one of the rules is it has to be a translucent ceiling.
Why is that?
Because you're ultimately at the mercy of the elements. The idea behind the sukkah is you're connected to the world, the earth around you. And it's got walls on three sides, and one side is open.
What time of year is this?
It's in the fall, so
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
It's great. So only in the last, I would say, 3 years have we really kind of shared that holiday with we attend a Jewish congregation called Ramu, and it's just been a phenomenal experience to be able to share with our kids because they love it. We have this big sukkah building party. Ramu partners with the hostel on 103rd in Amsterdam, and we use their backyard. Everybody brings potluck. They bring different kinds of salads and apples and hummus and carrots and we decorate and we hang and we sing, and it's really fun. Everything in Judaism is sort of about an intellectual debate. So this is not surprising that the idea of whether it is a Jewish thing to do to take care of your body or to get in shape and to be physically active, or if it's not a Jewish thing. And so that's debated. But in my view, and I think the prevailing view in Judaism, is your body is this the vessel for your soul, and it's really important for you to be able to stay in shape, to keep that vessel, to keep the thing that holds your soul, to keep that in great shape. And there's this view that if you're spending too much time working out, you're vain, or you're not really focused on learning and studying and being in touch with God. But in my view, that all of the stuff that is running and biking and being in nature, that is being in touch with God. That is like how I personally can connect with God, and I believe it's really just amazing and powerful.